of June because it is Pride Month. And thanks again to Beezus for giving us this name, Pride Pulse. So today we're going to honor someone by the name of, you may know him by the name of MNEK, a fabulous artist, writer, all of the above. So give me 1 second. So first we're going to watch about a 30-second clip of his work, and then we're going to read an article about him. Just give me 1 second. Let me share my screen. Yes, I love MNK. Yeah, okay. We have that in the comment. He is absolutely fabulous and
I'm gonna
super
learn about
talented.
somebody new today. I've never heard of them.
Yes, I think you're gonna like them very much, honey, because you talking about vocals.
Okay, UK. All right.
So let's watch this clip here.
Yeah, I like that beat, BB. It's nice. I liked it. It's up there now. Maybe refresh. Uh, yeah.
Okay, no, y'all didn't lose me. I'm sorry, my stupid ass was talking while I was muted.
Oh.
You would think after many times of doing this show, I would get that. No, I was muted and still talking like a dumbass. But no, so that was the video. And now we're going to go over the article that I just shared from Tens Magazine, which happens to be an LGBTQ magazine, of course. And let me share my screen. We're talking about Durham education. Boy, do I have a story for you, but we'll talk offline. So I just shared that link from Tens Magazine, and you see where it says here, MNEK, the road to black gay pop stardom. And then you see how he said this wonderful quote: I want LGBTQ artists of color to be seen as valid, not to be tokenized. You better wake that shit up. So, recording artist MNEK chats with Tens about his position in the music industry as a writer, producer, being an openly gay black pop star, success of his debut album, Language, and his upcoming World Pride performance in New York City. And the interview was done by DeRay Demora. So you're at the forefront of the movement of queer creativities being open in their identities. Having that experience, what advice would you give to young queer creators struggling with speaking their truth through their work? MNK says, I'd say it takes some time. And also, you can't force it because it's supposed to be real. If it's not genuine, don't force it. Everyone's relationship with telling his or her truth is different. When did you know that as an artist, you were going to be open and unapologetic about your identity? I kind of knew as soon as I signed my record deal, but I just didn't know how to go about it. I had a lot of searching and learning to do before I was able to complete my album to be what it is. I knew I wanted to be, I knew I wanted to be what I didn't see growing up, but it wasn't about knowing how comfortable I was going to be telling my stories and my experiences. Queer culture, especially Black queer culture, has been at the forefront of setting trends and new modes of creative expression for decades. How do you feel about being part of that legacy? And what specifically do you want to contribute to the culture? I love being part of Black queer culture. I'm very blessed that in a very white world, my music and my heart can still be heard. I know that I want to continue making records for other artists, making my own, get into get into executive and make my own label. I haven't seen Black queer people be the heads of labels, a la Quincy Jones or Barry Gordy or L.A. Reid. Anyway, the musician, comma executive flex is really appealing to me. All I've ever wanted to do is music, and I look forward to the multiple ways in which I could do it. You're performing on the May stage at World Pride. How are you processing all of your energy for this very big moment? MEK replies, I haven't had time to process it, to be honest. But the set is literally 20 minutes. It will go in a flash. But I can't wait. I'm so excited to be doing Pride. So many of my friends should be there. He was asked, being black and gay means having to exist at the intersections of both. What's it like trying to navigate that as an artist with ever growing popularity? I honestly don't know. MEK replies. I'm just doing me in this world. The intersectionality, rah rah. I don't always know what everyone else is doing, so all I can do is be me. Give everything my best shot and hope it makes people happy and want to hear from me. And that applies to both my artist career and my career writings for other artists. So he was asked, language very much delved into delved into and dissected the nuances of gay man's existence while navigating love. Do you ever worry that telling a story through that lens might not translate well for heteronormative audiences? Not initially, they replied. I think there will be I think there will always be people that we're educating. People leave comments on some of the videos saying I should go to hell. That shit is gay as fuck. I've got a homosexual spirit. And it's just whack. I know my heart. I know my intentions come from wanting a healthy and open dialogue through my heart. If it makes people uncomfortable, it intrigues me more than it scares me. They were asked, what queer artists are you a fan of or want people to pay more attention to? I love Carnage, amazing UK rapper, so talented. Leo Kalin, Ryan Ashley, Verdon Aurora. There are so many extremely talented LGBTQ artists that deserve more attention and recognition. They were asked, what role do you feel music and art in general plays in helping to fight the oppression so many queer people are still facing worldwide? They replied, I've always said my music, my videos, and my performances are my medium of activism. I want LGBTQ people, I want LGBTQ artists and creatives, and especially those of color, to be seen as valid, not to be tokenized, but wholly celebrated for what we do and who we are as people. I love us, and I love what we bring to the table. And then it says you can catch MNEK performing at the World Pride New York City closing ceremony on Times Square on June 30th. And then here's a clip to watch his video. Tongue. So I just thought that was a really, really good interview. And he's absolutely right. We are people like myself and people like MNK are usually tokenized. Like when you see us in media, so we're usually like the sassy best friend and stuff. We never really have our own stories to tell. So, or in the music world, these people are usually behind the scenes, making the straight hetero artists move forward and giving them all the life. Look what happened with Big Frida and all that. Well, you are sassy. Oh, thank you. Oh, that was so sweet. But yeah, shout out to MEK. You keep doing your thing, boo. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, well, does anybody want to add anything to this fabulous artist before we get started with the tea?
I think I'm going to go look up some of his music because I like that little beat you played at the beginning.
Yes. They
Yeah.
say you got to comment. Yes, give him his tens. Yes, honey, baby, we giving all the gays our tens for this month, baby, and I intend to do that, and I mean it. And if you happen to be an LGBTQ artist or creative or any way, please email us at auntie@auntiederek.com so that way we can talk about you just like we just talked about MEK. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started with the tea, horny.
It's tea time.
It sure is. Yes. So you know we about to start doing, honey. Start going over this Diddy trial. And let me share the CNN link with the live updates. And we'll be going over it together. I'm just making sure I don't have to clear my cookies again. Okay, we good. Let me share my screen. All right. So it appears that Jane, that we learned about last week, is still on the stand today. Let's go to the catch up section to see what they have. So just a recap of what we learned on Friday. A woman using the pseudonym Jane took a stand for a second day of salacious testimony at the end of the fourth week of Diddy's federal criminal trial on Friday. Jane's testimony comes as the prosecution seeks how to show Combs and his inner circle use violence, lies, and other means to coerce Jane and Cassie Ventura into having sex with other men as part of a drug-fueled sexual performances known as hotel nights and or freak-offs. Here's what we learned in testimony on Friday. Says text messages show Jane repeatedly said she did not want to do hotel nights. Jane, who dated Combs from 2021 to 2024, testified that Combs falsely promised he'd spend quality time alone with her and dismissed her repeated requests to stop participating in his sexual hotel nights. Jane said that Combs promised her things she wanted, like date nights and quality time, but said he wanted to have hotel nights first. She would agree, but then afterward, they'd be too exhausted and spend the rest of our free time sleeping, she testified. Jane testified having a hotel night with Combs on her birthday in 2022, where she had sex with another man at Combs' direction. Jane and Combs had another hotel night in 2023, even though she was hesitant and Combs promised a romantic time prior to her flying to New York. That girl, that's all it took for you to quality time was all you needed to. Okay, you know why? Combs still pays for her rent to this day. Jane says. Jane said this must be what we missed after the lunch break or whatever. Jane said she and Combs entered into a love contract in 2023 in which he agreed to pay her $10,000 per month rent as an allowance. He is still paying for her rent even now, she testified on Friday. She also testified he threatened to cut her off financially if she stopped participating in hotel nights. Jane testified that she understood her job was taking care of him, being good to him, and making sure he was happy, which included the sexual encounters. She said his job was taking care of her financially. Okay, well, I guess that explains my previous question. So it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't just quality time, it was both money and quality time.
It wasn't nothing about quality time. She just wanted to stop
Mm-hmm.
doing the hotel nights, but she was being paid to do that.
Mm-hmm. So jury sees and hears a hotel night. Oh, the jury heard her audio from a hotel night in which Combs was dismissive of a request from Jane to have her male sex partner wear a condom. The jury was also shown 15 photos that weren't released to the public. None of the exhibits were shown to the public in court that showed Jane testified, her and another man during a hotel night. Combs was present for all of the hotel nights pictured, Jane said. Jane said on the stand that she and Combs had a conversation before that hotel night in which he told her it would be okay if she wanted the man she would have sex with to wear a condom. He eventually gave the entertainer a condom, Jane said. Jane was asked why she needed Combs' permission to have the man wear a condom, and Jane seemed to get emotional and said she was still trying to process that. She said she didn't insist on the man wearing a condom because then Combs would be unhappy. There was alleged drug trafficking and drug use. Jane testified that when Combs would run out of drugs during a hotel night, he called an assistant, a butler, or one of his security guards to bring more. She even recalled a time in 2022 when Combs instructed her to pick up drugs in Los Angeles and fly with them to meet him in Miami. I do remember that. We went over there. James testified that Combs gave her drugs during the hotel nights to keep her awake for longer and made it easier for her to participate in the fantasy. We did not go over that. Wow. It says Jane cries as she details birthday hotel night. I think we went over this, but I'm going to still reiterate. Jane cried and was emotional as she detailed one 2023 hotel night in Miami where she had sex with three other men at Combs' insistence on her birthday. Jane testified she flew to Miami with Combs, who told her they spent quality time together only to bring up plans for a hotel night during dinner. On the stand, Jane grew very emotional while discussing the birthday. She heaved more than once as she cried, and prosecutor Maureen Comey asked her repeatedly if she needed to take a break. Each time, Jane said no. At another point in her testimony, a box of tissue was passed to her in the witness box by the courtroom deputy. So that was all the information from Friday. All right. So before we did anybody want to add anything before we start with today? And I'm looking at the comments. Those years were also Carisha's timeline. She's been quiet. I listen. I it's not like because I'm trying to. But she. I think there has been reports that it's not her, but I still got my eyes on because I'm looking at the dates and yeah, that's them dates match up with Young Miami.
I am so disgusted. I just want to puke.
Hmm.
This man is disgusting.
Very disgusting, honey. Need that Tootsie Roll chopped off if you ask me. So, let's
That
see
wouldn't
what we.
stop
I'm
him
just.
from making them have sex with other men. Baby, that would that wouldn't do anything.
You you're right. It'll probably exacerbate
Hmm.
it, make it
He was,
worse.
yeah, he wasn't trying to use his little Tootsie Roll anyway. He was trying to do this other bullshit he's doing.
So we know now. So we went over there. We know that James is back on the stand. Judge says he'll pick up the defense's mistrial motion tomorrow. Also, it looks like he the defense is looking for a mistrial. Let me see why.
Again,
Again, Judge Subramian says he'll pick up the defense's mistrial motion tomorrow because the government plans to respond in a filing at some point today. The defense team submitted to move for a mistrial over the weekend. The motion was based on the testimony of Brianna Bongolan, which defense attorney said is demonstrably false. Oh, okay. So they're trying to say Brianna lied on the stand. Jane's back on the stand. Let's see. Combs pressured Jane to send bad girl text. She testified. Okay. So Jane, one of Diddy's accusers, who was using a pseudonym and dated Combs from 2021 to 2024, is reading a text thread between her and Combs from September 15th of 2023 before she went to visit him in New York. Combs told her, "Send me some shit of you being a bad girl," according to this text thread. Jane said they could watch something when they were together and expressed concern that he was carrying a phone with footage from hotel nights, sexual encounters that generally included a male entertainer. She also accused him of wanting video of her to use with another woman. Combs also said, "Just do what I say, please. I'm horny." And "Stop it. Don't say no to me, please," according to the text thread read in court. Jane testified that she had Combs buy a phone just for their hotel nights because all of Combs' assistants had the security code for his personal phones that he regularly used. Jane testified that she was upset at the time of these texts because she had just heard Combs give a podcast interview during which he bragged about how he had sex for 48 hours straight with another woman. Jane testified the trip he referenced in the podcast was a yacht excursion Combs promised to take her on, and that when he took another woman on that trip, Combs downplayed it, claiming they didn't have sex. Mm-mm. So, next update, Jane texted Combs, "I don't want to be used to perform and fulfill your fantasies." In another message to Diddy, Jane said she felt disrespected and didn't want him to use her for a hotel binge. "I don't want to be used and locked in a room to perform and fulfill your fantasies," Jane texted him, coming to the realization of what she really is. Combs responded to Jane, "I'm tired of your false accusations." Jane sent Combs a message in September 2023 that said, "I don't want to play this role in your life anymore. It's dark, sleazy, and makes me feel disgusted with myself. I feel it's the only reason you have me around and why you pay me for the house. Excuse me, why you pay for the house. I don't want to feel obligated to perform these nights with you in fear of losing the roof over my head. I don't want to keep feeling like that anymore." She testified that she fe- she had felt obligated to engage in the hotel night since Combs started paying the rent for her new home in April. Jane said Combs would say little guilt trippy things about the house. "I felt like he had made such a big purchase, and I felt that this was something I had to do in return to make him feel happy, to feel okay about that," she testified. Combs responded, "Girl, stop," to her message, and then later said they should talk. I'm sorry. I really don't mean to laugh, but this man is a fucking asshole. He's an asshole. Oh my god. So, and to be honest with you, I'm starting to not think it's Carisha only because like the response from this girl, from the Carisha that we see in public, she's usually like not calling her a whore because this is going to make it sound like I'm calling her a whore, but I'm really not. But she seems to be, from what we've seen of her, she had the signs like "Go Poppy" and "Oh, that's my nigga." "Oh, we go together real bad" and stuff like that. Like I go ahead, Chili.
well, that could all be fake. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
what you're supposed to say online. And wasn't there a story Now, not that I keep up with Carisha all that much because I don't, but wasn't there something about a yacht and something she was something happened with the yacht story just kind of picked my brain. Like, wasn't this online? Something she said.
I think you're on to something.
I can't
Um,
remember, but that made me kind of think I've seen something about that before. I don't know. You too, Benji. I just that just made me you know think I'd heard this before, and that he was with another woman, and um, even though Carisha seems pretty open sexually and all of that, it's a whole different story when someone's forcing you to do things, and it can't
yeah.
feel good, making you have sex with men you don't know, not wanting them to wear a condom, exposing you to Lord knows what. Um, I I just don't see how a person would enjoy that, even if they are, you know, open sexually or whatever. And she was saying all that, but about that's her man, and if you'd be on your knees if I wanted you to lick me and all. That's just to me that's a persona. That's something she can project online. But in the background, when you're forced to do these things, I can see her maybe typing those things. So I don't know that that's her, but like you say, the timeline kind of adds up, and she has been so quiet since Diddy got arrested. I mean, I just think
Hmm.
she's been really, really quiet. And why wouldn't they subpoena her? I mean, she was known to be seeing him, so um,
Absolutely.
I
And
well,
y'all are right. So it looks like I just found a I was Googling and I found an article from January 2nd of 2023, and the
mm,
headline Diddy celebrates New Year's Day with girlfriend Young Miami on his yacht in St. Bart's after
mm-hmm,
going Instagram official. So yep, y'all were right.
okay, yeah.
Oops. And I stopped sharing the
I,
screen
I,
by mistake.
I was gonna be me.
So yeah, so what's the next update? Says Combs arranged a hotel night in New York after promising a proper trip, Jane testified. Oh, so he's just full of promises, huh? So Jane is continuing to testify about a series of communications she had with Diddy before she visited him in New York in 2023, in which she said she felt disrespected and told him that she didn't want him to use her for a hotel binge. Combs sent her a voice message telling her how sick he was and that nothing she was saying made sense, she testified. He didn't acknowledge her comment about feeling obligated to perform at hotel nights, she said. Hotel nights she previously tested were sexual encounters that included a male entertainer. They then got on a FaceTime call after that, and Combs calmed down and said everything she wanted to hear, she testified. He promised they'd have a proper New York trip with dinners and shopping, and didn't mention the hotel night, she said. Jane went to New York on September 17th of 2023 because she didn't think there'd be a hotel night, she testified. Once she got on the plane, however, Combs sent her messages about arranging a hotel night. I just remember just taking a deep breath and just feeling upset and a little disappointed, a little defeated, Jane testified. In responding to his messages, she tried to brush away his questions about a hotel night, she testified. Okay, I have a surprise. If that's okay, just one, Combs responded. Jane testified that meant Combs was going to introduce her to a new entertainer for a hotel night. She said she hated it. Once she was in New York City, Jane and Combs went to a lounge, she said. We bickered a bit, and I was kind of showing discomfort about these nights and how how it's just being sprung on me, Jane testified. She said Combs was being defensive. On the way back to the hotel, she took an ecstasy pill, she said. Then she was back in the hotel room in lingerie. This new surprise was coming. Mm-mm, mm-mm. James describes organizing another hotel night for Combs. Good Lord. Jane testified that Diddy surprise entertainer didn't go well, so she felt like she had to make it up to Combs. She contacted another entertainer that had called for previous hotel nights and arranged for him to fly to New York City. The jury saw text between Jane and the man in which Jane told him that she was sorting out his cash payment. In another text, she told him that there be an envelope with cash left at the front desk of the Trump International Hotel. Jane testified she got cash from Combs. Well, there you go. That's more added to your prostitution across state lines and all that. So, entertainer joined Combs and Jane in Miami after New York encounter, she says. So a few days after the September 2023 New York City hotel night trip, Jane next saw Sean Diddy Combs at a Miami hotel, she testified. On the Miami trip, Combs wanted to watch footage of the New York trip, Jane testified. Combs wanted a part two. So they had the entertainer who was with them in New York join them in Miami on that trip as well, she said. Okay, now I really am starting to think it's Carisha because they're spending too much time in Miami and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, next update. Combs asked Jane for a hotel night while he was with another woman, she testified. Mm, girl. In October 2023, Jane and Sean Diddy Combs were discussing Combs' request for her to arrange a party with entertainers or men paid to have sexual encounters with Jane. At the same time, Jane said she and one of Combs' ex-girlfriends posting with Combs on her social media. Jane testified she was furious that he was asking for a hotel night while he was with another woman. You got that girl next to you, so figure it out, Jane texted Combs. Combs responded, "You're the only thing that's going to put me at peace, please." Jane responded, "Introduce her, P. It's not me, it's the entertainment that puts you at peace." Jane testified that P was a reference to an entertainer named Paul. Okay. The next update. I'm not a porn star. I'm not an animal, Jane wrote to Combs in request for a break. In later messages from the same October 2023 conversation, Jane wrote, "Our experiences are desensitizing sex for me," and that she didn't want to be mistreated according to testimony in court. "I don't feel like performing loveless cold sex," she wrote. Jane was frustrated because she felt like Combs treated her differently than he treated others, she testified. "I had to earn just basic things for my relationship like love and respect and romance, but I felt like he was giving it to everyone else," she said. "I'm not a porn star. I'm not an animal. I need a break. I don't want to do anything. I've hit a wall," she wrote in the messages. She testified the request for a break referred to not wanting to give my body to anybody else at all. "I'll only make love to you," Combs responded in the messages. Jane wrote back that she's had to have sex with strangers for 3 years. "I'm tired," she wrote. "So we're breaking up," Combs wrote. Jane testified that she had not suggested they break up in any of her messages in that conversation, but had only told him that she wanted to stop participating in the hotel night sexual encounters that included a male entertainer. The conversation continued into October 16th of 2023. Combs wrote to James, "Let's spend the day, just you and me, no strangers please. It's my only day off." Jane responded, "It's loveless for me and nothing satisfies you, and you always push me to do more and more." Combs said, "Let me make love to you. It's filled with love. Spend the day with your family or your ex. I need time to myself," Jane responded. Jane testified that it didn't matter how good a night was. He always wanted me to do more and more, she said. That's what narcissists do. Okay, the jury's taking a short break. So let's see what's the next update. Judge and jury return after the short break. Love bombing. Okay. So love bombing would start whenever Combs wanted more of these nights, Jane testified. Ooh, and I need people to listen because a lot of you don't know what love bombing is, and this is something y'all need to be really looking out for, talking to the listeners right now. Okay. After the short break, Jane has resumed testifying about the text conversation between her and Diddy on October 16th of 2023. "Spend the day with your family or Gina. I need time to myself," Jane wrote, according to messages she read aloud in court. Gina is another woman Combs had a relationship with, according to previous testimony. "No, I want to see you. We don't have to have sex. I just want to spend the day with you, please," Combs responded, according to the reading in court. "You beat the love out of us. You made it crystal clear exactly what you want me for. You're going to spend the day. I'm sorry. You're going to spend the day what love bombing me, so you can get what you want. It's not genuine. I've hit a mental and spiritual wall. Jane wrote in the messages. She testified that whenever he wanted me or one of these nights, the love bombing or uh or the persistency would start. Mm. Jane said she stopped answering Combs' calls after they fought. The fight carried into the next day, Jane testified. She said she told Diddy she needed space and stopped answering his calls. Combs left her an audio message saying, "You know I wouldn't be calling you like this. I need you, girl." Then later in the day, Combs said, "Can I please come over? Can I please come over there? That's my house too." Ooh. Mm-mm. Jane said he was referring to the house she was living in where he was paying the rent. Jane testified that she was shutting him out, not answering his messages or calls because every time she let him in, I'd be right back to into whatever he wanted. Good for you, girl. Good for you. Jane said she responded to Combs' message about medical issue because she cared about his health. I'm trying to look at the picture, honey. I mean, that is a little brownish, honey. It is looking a little Carisha is this little sketch here. I don't know.
I'm thinking
So
it's
let's,
her real, and that she wanted to stay anonymous just because of her online personality. She don't want
yeah,
everybody to know her business, but I mean it's not hard to figure out. But I don't blame her for staying anonymous.
yeah. And Jane continued to testify about text conversations she had with Diddy in October 2023. Combs texted Jane a screenshot of a conversation he had with his doctor about his knees, she testified. He wrote that he was stressed and that there was a lot going on, and on top of that, I'm horny, according to testimony. Boy. Combs texted Jane a screenshot of a conversation he had with his doctor about his knees, she testified. He wrote that, I guess they got the same thing twice. Jane responded by telling him to take it easy and giving him some advice about his medical issues. She hadn't agreed to see him before that message, but she responded because she cared about his health. She testified. That's nice of her. Jane met Combs for a sobriety party hotel night in October 2023. She testified. Oh, this is interesting. So after their message exchanges about his health, Jane met Sean Diddy Combs at his residence, and they ended up going to a hotel room for a sobriety party on October 18th of 2023. She testified. Jane didn't take drugs during the sobriety party, and she threw up after having sex with two men. She testified. When she told Combs she had thrown up, he said, "Okay, that's good. You'll feel better now. Let's go outside." She then had sex with a third man. Jane said at the end of the night, she felt absolutely terrible. Remember, Jane has previously testified the following about the October 2023 sobriety party at a hotel in Beverly Hills, California. She said that she wanted Combs to get sober around this time, and he agreed to stop taking substances for 30 days, but wanted to have one last sobriety party first. This party was a hotel night that lasted 12 to 18 hours, she testified last week. She didn't take any drugs, but Combs took ecstasy and cocaine, she testified. Prosecutor Maureen Comey asked Jane last week how she felt after doing that hotel night without any drugs. "I was just disgusted. I was just repulsed. I was just so mad at myself for doing that," Jane responded. "I just deeply regretted that." Mm. It says Jane says she asked Combs for money following the traumatic party. Jane said that after the sobriety party, Diddy went to Miami. She said she texted him asking him to put money in her account. Jane sent more angry text messages about feeling used for the sobriety party that had turned into a hotel night when Combs didn't answer. Combs sent her an audio message telling her he's single and he doesn't have to listen to her.
Oh my
The
God.
argument, a girl, oh my God. The argument continued, and eventually Jane and Combs got on the phone. Jane testified that over the phone, Combs offered to pay 3 months more of rent after she expressed her frustration over the party, which she called traumatic. Jane testified that she told him, "I'm not Gina or Cassie," two other women Combs dated, who Jane said left their relationship with Combs quietly. After that call, Jane texted him, "You agreed to match my 2 year investment in this toxic ass relationship. Match the 2 years like you said, and we're leaving each other alone." Jane messaged him, "Don't call me, don't text me. I'm dead to you." She testified that she wrote, "I'm dead to you," because Combs had said that to her on a phone call. In a later text, she said that Combs had been threatening to take away her home. Combs responded by calling Jane crazy. He said that the beauty is we both don't have to do anything we don't want to do. Jane testified that he was referring to paying her rent in that message. Jane responded that he was threatening her house for the millionth time and that he got her sick. She testified after the sobriety party she got a UTI and a yeast infection. Oh my god.
Mm.
Mm-mm. Oh, child, this is a lot. Next update. You place all these harmful men on me. You risk my health. Jane texted to Combs. Well, look, I'm glad she sent these texts, honey, because now they got evidence, documents they can use. So anyway, the jury has heard a further string of October 2023 texts between Jane and Diddy, in which he repeatedly asked her to call him to talk. See, and that's why he want her to call him because he don't want the shit in no text. Because anyway, at one point, Jane texts Combs, "You placed and paid all these harmful men on me and risked my health. This was never love. I regret everything and all this dark toxic shit that entered my life," Jane texted to Combs. After more messages were sent, Jane and Combs had a phone call in which he tried to calm her down, she testified. She later texted him that she was processing some sort of trauma and just needs some healing to get back to myself. "I feel as your lover, I wanted to please you and de stress you, and I pushed through and went along with things even when deep down I wanted the night to be over," she said to Combs in a message. She wrote that she would try to give Combs cues to let him know that she wanted to finish, but he would encourage her to push through. "I know I was consenting, like I say on tape," Jane wrote. She testified that she was referencing their phone conversation in which Combs told her, "If anyone were to watch these tapes, they would have thought you were having the best time. They looked like you were consenting." Prosecutor Maureen Coleman asked her if that were true. Jane paused for a long time before responding, "I'm still trying to figure that out." Yeah, girl, that's it's complicated. So Jane says she left Combs' house before his birthday in hopes of avoiding a party. I know that's right. Jane testified that she went to Diddy's house soon after the latest text exchange she testified about. "The visit ended up being one of my favorite moments," she said. The jury saw photos of the two of them in together in his master bedroom. She recalled that this was the first time she felt supported by Combs. "I felt that he had really absorbed for the first time what I was saying, and I felt that he understood me in this moment," Jane said. Super. They spent some time together over the next few days in late October, but she left when it got closer to his birthday on November 4th. "With celebrations, I just felt like they would put me on as far as him wanted to party," Jane said. Combs didn't call her to party for his birthday, but Jane said she brought him a mobile television screen they could use for pornographic movie nights, hoping that she could replace the entertainers. And next update, Ventura's 2023 lawsuit was like reading my own story. Oh, bitch. So Jane testified about learning of Cassie Ventura's November 2023 federal lawsuit against Diddy, a lawsuit in which Ventura accused Combs of rape and physical abuse, and which was settled a day after it was filed. "I almost fainted. In fact, I think I did," she said. Jane said 3 pages in Ventura's lawsuit had a harrowing resemblance to her own experience. "I just reacted like, I can't believe I'm reading my own story," she testified. Jane said she had only met Ventura a couple of times in passing years ago, and they had not communicated beyond that. Jane messaged Combs after reading the lawsuit. She testified, "I was just in a complete state of shock, just messaging him like, what is this?" she said. Next update. Uh, Jury hears recorded phone call between Combs and Jane. The jury heard a recorded phone call between Jane and Diddy from November 2023. The recording was recovered from a cell phone that belonged to Christina Coram, Combs' former chief of staff. Jane testified she didn't know anyone was listening at the time or that she was being recorded. She also said she could hear Combs writing notes during the call. On the call, Combs and Jane spoke about the lawsuit, she confirmed on the stand. Combs told her, "You know, I really can't talk on this phone," but also said he do what he could to make her feel better. Jane is audibly emotional during the call recording. Combs said of the hotel nights, it was just some kinky shit that I thought that we both, you know what I'm saying, enjoyed. Combs said, "I need you to be there for me." Jane responded, "Who's there for me when I close my eyes and I have these fucked up things in my head?" Jane testified that she was referring to the hotel night flashbacks that she'd often have. Combs told her to call Quorum if she needed anything before ending the call. Combs and Jane spoke again later that day in another call that was recorded. Combs said multiple times, "I need your friendship right now." He also said, "You know, you ain't got to worry about nothing else." Jane testified she knew he was referring to those rent payments for the house. Mm-mm. And the jury has been dismissed for lunch. And they got this catch up section. So let me just refresh just to make sure we're not missing anything. Yep. So yeah, so tomorrow we will definitely keep you updated with the latest news of the trial. But it's just getting, like Tyler the Creator say, it's getting sticky. Oof,
Nastier,
child.
nastier, and nastier. Is just this man is a devil.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Look, and then we got some comment. How fitting it was at the Trump Hotel. Ooh. Yes, honey, getting sticky. It's a mess. Well, does anybody want to add anything about this, child, before we go to the next story? Oh, death. Death to all of them. Death to all of them. Shout out to the iconic Wendy Williams. And it's funny you brought that up, BB, because our next story is actually going to be talking about her ex-husband. So, child, Kevin, he wants to tell his story, and he wants to tell it to Gayle King.
Oh, please.
Yes, Kevin's ugly ass want to tell his story to Gayle King. And y'all see I just shared this link from Hot New Hip Hop, and we're going to talk about it. So, Kevin Hunter, ex-husband of TV icon Wendy Williams, and they got the TV icon part right, honey, yes, is reportedly set to break his silence in a televised interview with Gayle King. According to the Jasmine brand, the sit-down will explore the fallout from his marriage to Williams, his public disgrace, and ongoing legal battles. Since his 2019 divorce, Hunter has stayed mostly quiet. Their split followed explosive tabloid reports revealing he fathered a child with another woman while married. The scandal unfolded publicly as Williams continued hosting her hit show, even as her private life unraveled under scrutiny. Central to Hunter's legal troubles in his lawsuit against Debmar Mercury, the production company behind the Wendy Williams show. And shout out to Debmar Mercury. I know y'all listening. Hey, y'all. He claims he was terminated without cause after the breakup, alleging the firing violated their business agreements and was fueled by scandal rather than job performance. Boy, bye. Anyway. In the years since, I don't know where the word recent came from, in the years since, Hunter had faced growing financial and legal turmoil. He sold his Florida home, and court records detail unresolved debts and lawsuits involving creditors. These setbacks have only heightened curiosity about his side of the story. Meanwhile, Williams is under court order guardianship due to severe health issues and reportedly cannot manage her finances. Her fragile state has fueled concern and speculation about her legacy and the people who once surrounded her. A conversation with Gayle King, renowned for her direct but empathetic approach, may offer Hunter a chance to reclaim his narrative. Whether he chooses to reveal, defend, or apologize remains uncertain. Still, his decision to speak publicly for the first time in years suggests a calculated attempt to re-enter the public eye on his own terms. As questions about Williams's well-being persist and legal battles simmer, Hunter's interview may shed light on a story defined by betrayal, collapse, and silence. For longtime viewers of the Wendy Williams show, this may be more than a personal reckoning. It could reshape the public understanding of a once powerful media empire. No, it ain't. It's not gonna tell us nothing that we don't already know, honey. I can't stand a low, dirty dog ass. Me either, BB. Me either. Yeah, he is definitely that low and dirty. I remember, honey, when I tell you Kevin, whose real name happens to be Kelvin, by the way. There's an L in there, but he refuses to acknowledge the L. And you need to acknowledge it because you ain't doing nothing but taking L's. Anyway, I remember first moving up to New York. The him he like it was pretty much an a well-known secret that Kevin had a really, really busy penis, and he liked to sleep with a lot of interns at the radio, allegedly. So I remember even first moving to New York in 2008. There was a video that surfaced online, a sex tape with him and an intern from the radio, honey, with his titties flopping over everywhere. So Wendy has made it clear ages ago. She was like, "Look, I know you out here being busy. I know your dick is busy, but look, do not have me out here looking stupid. You can cheat, but do not bring home no babies." His ass brought home a baby. Look what and she with the kid, she held on to her word. She was like, "Oh, you got a baby? Okay, well, divorce." I thought
Yeah.
you were about to say
Oh,
you slept with him. No, the fuck you didn't think I was gonna say no shit like that. The fuck? Don't play on my pussy, honey. This is quality.
had a whole domicile with this chick, living with her and everything. I mean, they had set up house
Mm-hmm. On with Wendy's money.
with her money. Yeah.
They said always a man being a downfall of a powerful woman. Wake it up, Moon. Wake that up.
Of a lot of women, not just powerful ones, honey. Because every day, some woman is dying at the hands of some fool. Kids, too.
Mm-hmm. Well, does anybody want to add anything on his stupid ass before we go to the next story?
No.
And I just want to add one thing. Shout out to Delmar Mercury for firing his ass. They actually took a stand and they did what's right. Shit. And they said, it was reports that he was actually coming in there making people very uncomfortable. With people just trying to do their jobs and the producers and all and the staff, he had a nasty attitude. And everybody there have been reports that everybody on that staff said that as soon as Kevin walked in the room, the energy shifted. It changed. He's nothing, and you choose to let these bitches play in your face. Dick ain't that great, okay? Okay. And from what I seen on that sex tape, you are absolutely right, BB. The dick is not that great, and he got them titties flopping everywhere, hitting that girl in the face like that. Anyway,
Damn. They was hanging that low, Auntie?
the day was hanging low, honey, like a donkey's ears. Well, speaking of donkeys, Ray J. So, and thank you, Chill, for bringing this story to my attention, honey. But Ray J was for some reason told the public that he had sex with Sexy Red, and she wasn't having it. Oh, we have a comment. Nothing wrong with a floppy titty. No, nothing wrong with floppy titties, but there's absolutely everything wrong with Kevin's floppy titties hitting that girl in the face like that. Anyway,
Yes, I'm to blame for this story. Leave me alone, BB.
Look, Chili knows I like the mess. Okay. Well, I just shared this link from Vibe, and y'all see where it says Sexy Red slams Ray J for lying about them having sex. And we're not really gonna read the story. We're just gonna look at the because she shared a screenshot of their text messages, and she sent him the video of him talking about he slept with Sexy Red. She said, "Oh, so this what we do? This what you doing playing with people's name on the internet?" Then go say, I said right after we slept on the plane together. I'm playing. I'm always trolling, and I love you. I'll make it clear right now on my main page. Sorry if you mad at me. I'll make it right now. She said that's not cool. I'll make it right, and I'm really sorry, Sexy, and I'll apologize on camera too. So let's go ahead and look at his apology real quick while I sip on my coffee. Ooh. I guess it wants to open up another Twitter page, so I'll share that screen instead. Look in the comments. He always doing something. And why lie on your raggedy dick? Wake that up, okay?
Because he's trying to stay relevant. Nobody checking for him, generating press. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, that is true.
I
Let
want to.
me.
So first and foremost, I want to apologize to Sexy Red because Sexy Red is one of my favorite artists, and Sexy Red and I was on a plane, and we were both flying somewhere. We randomly saw each other. She was sitting by me. She had her space. I had my space. She had her own blanket, her own pillow. I had my own blanket and my own pillow. And we had a long flight. And we both were tired, you know what I'm saying? So we went to sleep. Just like we would sleep with anybody else that was sitting next to us on the plane. I went out of control and I said that I slept with Sexy Red. And that's insensitive and it's not okay. And it's trolling at the highest level. And I want to say, Sexy Red, my bad. Um, I hope this gets out there and this gets shown because even though if I said it later on the stream, that didn't get clipped. All they heard was what I said, and it was childish. It was uncalled for, and you know, it wasn't cool. My bad, Sexy.
Anyway, look, we got a comment of all people, Sexy Red. And but you know that kind of ties into the point that Chill made earlier. Like even though Sexy Red has this persona of like of like Coochie Pink, Booty Hole Brown, and all that, she still deserves respect. And it's kind of really creepy for somebody like Ray J to go around here saying that we had sex knowing that they did not. You know what I mean? It's just like, what are you doing, nigga? The fuck?
Well, he said they slept together, so technically he didn't say sex, but the implication was there. But it was truly just sleeping.
Right.
Clickbait ass motherfucker. He's so,
Hmm.
ugh. I see why Brandy don't
He
want
really is. Brandy got his ass blocked from what I heard, allegedly, allegedly.
Well, yeah, and I can see why. If that's truly the case, I understand.
And Sexy Bread, honey, if I were you, I wouldn't believe anything because we know that Ray J is a bold face ass lie. And Beezus, I think you and all the other Capricorn men need to have an emergency meeting because y'all got to do something. He making y'all look like he is driving y'all value that. Let me stop. Hey, BB. So I would act if I were Sexy Red, if I were in her position, I wouldn't listen to anything Ray J says because he's a liar. Just like I think he's probably lying about this story. So I just shared a link from Vibe. Ray J addresses super disrespectful claim about Whitney Houston's death. Because honey, she reportedly was messing around with him, in her last days, allegedly. Had her fighting getting screaming at Stacey Francis, honey, and everything. It was a mess, honey. Anyway, Ray J defended himself against the rumors that he had been involved in the death of Whitney Houston. Speaking with his fellow Love and Hip Hop franchise Monique Slaughter on Twitch, the R&B singer elaborated on the speculation that he was there when Houston tragically passed away. Like the black bloggers and shit talking about it, then they pull up the Whitney shit and try to put me walking out of the hotel as if I could get in there. I wasn't even in there. So it's like, what are y'all talking about? He continued to confess, I gotta literally come out and explain what it really was, which is super distasteful to Whitney. But I'm not, but excuse me, but now it's getting out of control. Now it's like, fam, I was not there. Here's the video, but we're not watching because it's about 5 minutes long and I don't want to see him talking for 5 minutes. Anyway, I just ain't never spoke on it out of respect, but it's not okay. Like, a nigga wasn't even there, bro. He responded after being assured by Slaughter that his family was aware of the truth. I'll let a story build because I don't got to explain myself. But eventually, if shit gets too out of control and narratives are being created, I have to say something, even if you don't want to, because it's like, yo, this shit is crazy. Earlier this year, Suge Knight accused Ray J of being involved in Houston's death while speaking on the Art of Dialogue podcast. She just used the term that Brandon's little brother is bringing me drugs and doing drugs with me. He claimed, the singer said. Brandon's little brother trying to kiss me and doing drugs with me. Next thing you know, she's dead. The vocalist was pronounced dead on February 11th of 2012 after she was found at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles. Her cause of death was determined to be an accidental drowning caused by the effects of, chill, I'm going to tear this word up, girl, atherosclerotic heart disease.
Atherosclerotic.
The atherosclerotic, thank you, atherosclerotic heart disease and cocaine. At the time, ABC News reported that Ray J has made his way to the hotel after he learned of the news and was turned away. So he's saying that he ain't had nothing to do with Whitney's death, and that just because you won't in the hotel, but I still don't believe. I still believe your ass provided the drug. I don't know. I think I might have to side with Suge on this one. I don't know.
Well, we already know we can't believe a word he says, so you know,
Exactly.
I don't know why he bothers to even address it because we don't believe him. Come on, BB.
That's it, chill. Like, let's let her rest. It's been what 13 years now. Let her rest. We don't want to hear anything you have to say about it. We don't care about you. Like, you're nobody. And
Nobody.
you've been running around here living off your sister's last name and her legacy. Like, please leave us alone. Like, he's one of, I want him to go away. But I do want to chill, acknowledge something that you said. Because I made a comment about him saying he slept with Sexy Red, and you pointed out just regardless of her persona and her looking unfortunate, doesn't matter. You can't judge people by that. So I wanted to, so I apologize for my comment on that.
I respect that.
Wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
Like you don't don't lie on your dick on nobody name. Cause who
Right.
are you? One. But nobody deserves that. So thank
I
you for
wouldn't either.
putting it out there and checking me on that. I appreciate that. Not you, Derek, because you're you. But thank you. Chill. I love you.
I
Shut
wouldn't
up,
even
ho.
care if he was talking about a sex worker that we know is a sex worker. Just a lie is never acceptable, and to have people being judged on your lie is ridiculous. But yeah, I respect that apology. I love that. Thank you.
Well, thank you,
Same
boo.
here. What? Because that's what real bitches do. And even though I joke with BB is one of the realest bitches I know.
Oh yeah, yeah. You
You
gotta
know.
own, when you're wrong. I believe in that sincerely, and you already know that, Auntie. I'll definitely apologize when I think I'm wrong, because sometimes I think I be posting stuff. Maybe that's not. Um, I might have thought it was funny, but after I think about it, it's like, man, maybe that's not what I thought it was, and I'll say I'm sorry because I don't ever want to make anybody feel uncomfortable or think I'm biased about something that I'm actually not. Sometimes I just, may not make the right decisions, and we're all human, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So hey,
And that's why we live for you.
yes, yes, and I love y'all back too, baby.
Well, does anyone want to add anything about this old lion ass Capricorn before we go to the next story?
No, I'm like BB. I just wish he would go away, disappear into the go away hole, along with a few other
Exactly.
people.
So now for my sports ball people up in the room, now I've heard of this name before, but y'all familiar with Pac-Man Jones, right?
Yes,
Okay, well he was just arrested, child.
not that Pac-Man.
He was
Won't, won't,
indeed.
won't, won't, won't.
And I just shared this link from TMZ. Pac-Man Jones allegedly busted cop's lip with intentional elbow to face.
Not
From
smart.
and yeah, it wasn't smart. But what I was reading from this story, well, we gonna talk about it because it looks like the cops was fucking with him for real.
Probably, but still, you can't retaliate
Can't
like that.
can't knock him in the face and bust their lips.
No,
So Adam Pac-Man Jones busted a cop's lip after intentionally throwing an elbow at the officer's face during his arrest Saturday. New court documents obtained by TMZ Sports state. The incident, according to the docs, took place at the Kenton County Detention Center in Covington, Kentucky, at around 1:48 a.m., roughly an hour after Jones had been placed into custody for allegedly being drunk in public. Look at that mugshot. He look good. Hi. Anyway, the docs state that during a questioning outside of the bar at around 12:45 a.m., Patman cussed at police, all while displaying several signs of intoxication, including glossy eyes and slurred speech. Officers determined Jones to be a danger to himself and others in his current intoxicated state, police wrote in the docs before adding, Jones was causing annoyance and alarm to the pedestrians nearby. Jones was taken to the KCDC, but according to the docs, while handcuffed, he intentionally threw his elbow upwards and struck an officer in the face, causing the inside of the cop's lip to bleed. Jones was ultimately booked on 3 charges: public intoxication, disorderly conduct, and assault on a police officer. A rep for the former NFL star, though, said in a statement following the arrest, Adam did nothing wrong other than exercise his right to ask why he was being detained, a fundamental question that every citizen should be allowed to ask without fear of retaliation. Initially, officers claimed he was being arrested for assault, then shifted to a public intoxication, which in itself is not a crime in many jurisdictions unless it leads to dangerous behavior, and finally settled on disorderly conduct, simply asking for why he was being detained. And they actually have the video here. We'll watch it after I read this statement. The rep continued, this pattern of escalating and inconsistent charges is a clear abuse of authority and demonstrates a troubling trend of police officers prioritizing their own discretion over constitutional rights. Adam, like every American, is innocent until proven guilty. Yet, once again, his past is being weaponized against him in the court of public opinion, while the officers involved face no scrutiny for their conduct. The repeated mischaracterization of his encounters with law enforcement, often stemming from minor incidents, only reinforces the need for accountability in policing. Enough is enough. People should not be arrested for asking questions, the rep added, and police should not be allowed to fabricate charges simply because they don't like the tone of a conversation. This type of behavior erodes trust in law enforcement and undermines justice. Adam deserves fairness, not another headline designed to pay him as a villain for clicks. We call for full, transparent review of this arrest, and we stand firm in the belief that no one should be treated as guilty before they've even had their day in court. Jones is due to face a judge for arraignment on Wednesday. And the video, it's a really, really short video, but you can just kind of see that there's no sound. But you kind of see the officers look aggressive, and you really can't see much here because of them damn bright ass lights. But yeah, look at how them officers look with the arm swinging and everything. Got the, usually when somebody putting their arm up in the air while they talking to her, that means like you trying to, you know what I mean? Like what you want with me, bitch? Like something like that. I don't know, but I think after that rep statement, I feel like this is like anybody black in America who had an experience with police officers. This sounded very, very familiar. Where cops actually they don't like your tone, so they maybe give you a ticket, they'll arrest you or whatever, whatever. I've been in it personally myself, so I'm not surprised at any of this. Go ahead, BB.
That's where I was going with that. Oftentimes, and even if I bet you if they release that footage of those cops camera, if they were on, um, you'll find that they are usually the aggressors because he's a black man. Um, he's who he is, so they want to exert their power in a situation. We've seen it. Oh, you can go on TikTok and you look at these videos on a routine traffic stop. Now, I'm not saying that we're always right. I want to be clear on that. We're not always right. But more often than not, if you ask a simple question, they take that as you undermining their authority. Like, you don't have any authority over me. Let's be clear. You're to protect and serve. So if you sit and I'm doing something illegal and I'm asking a question to gain clarity, all you simply need to do is answer. Now, us as citizens, sometimes we go a little bit too far, yes. But it's just so unfortunate that you have a past and because he is who he is and he's black, you can tell in that little video clip that they were already aggressive. And it's so unfortunate and it's so sad. And I hate it. And we'll never, ever get rid of that stigma, ever. Like, in order to do that, you have to dismantle the system. And will that ever happen? Hmm. In the words of Aretha Franklin, I'm just going to pass on that.
Oh, look, okay. Okay. Go ahead, Shirley.
Well, as I've already stated, I watch a lot of cop shows and crime shows, not shows about cops necessarily, but I also watch this show called Jail. It's a little 30-minute segments, and so many people are in there for public intoxication. So I have to wonder if they see somebody out in public, not in a car, just walking, and they can tell they're intoxicated or whatever, do they use this to escalate, arresting people and collecting bond? Because when you drink, you tend to be probably not saying the smartest stuff you would say if you weren't drunk, right? So they come
Mm-hmm.
up to you and act a little aggressive and get you to respond, and that way they can escalate and take you to jail. Now, the charges may wind up being dismissed, but they've already arrested you, they put you in jail, they booked you, you got to bond yourself out. So, there's a whole thing that's going to happen whether you're found guilty or not. And it's a lot of people that they lock up for public intoxication. I mean, that just made me think of that.
Yeah, that is, yeah. And I think you are on to something shit because again, off that rep statement, he mentioned something like that. Like because what he's saying is, I can go back and read it, but it was like they picked him up for public intoxication when in most jurisdictions it's not even a crime, but then they escalated it. Hold on, let me see, make sure I read the right statement. Um, But yeah, and then they used this to fabricate. Okay, initially officers claimed he was being arrested for assault, then shifted to public intoxication, which in itself is not a crime for many jurisdictions unless it leads to dangerous behavior, and then finally settled on disorderly conduct.
Mm.
So yeah.
That's why he busted his lip, because he was pissed off, because he knew they was arresting him for nothing, basically, you know. And like the people they show on the show, they weren't doing anything. They just public. They might have been urinating or something in public. They weren't fighting or hurting anybody. Might have been talking loud. How drunk people do. Some people are
Mm-hmm.
really drunk, though. I mean, I'm not saying he fit that category, but they're drunk. They're talking out loud and hollering at just the air. So they use that as a reason to arrest these people.
Well, he showing up was looking like old drunk snacking that mugshot, honey. I tell you that. Let me stop. Let me
I don't know. I
I,
mean, I don't know the whole ins and outs of being arrested for being drunk in public. Sometimes they just let them go. They let them sleep it off. If they're really drunk or whatever, they keep them for 4 hours. I don't know that they necessarily have to bond themselves out. They just let them go. Just kind of get them out of the public for their protection, I guess. I mean, that's an assumption on my part. So let me say allegedly that this just seems to be something that they look for and arrest people for. And maybe some of it is intentional, you know, aggressiveness to get a person arrested. Not all of them are just really, really drunk and, acting out.
yep. Well, that's that on that. Does anybody want to add anything about public intoxication or Pat Man Jones before we go to the next story? All right, and the comment on video playback when you share the screen or a web page and talk over it, it's really cool to watch. It's like you're surfing the web for me. I know that's right. Yes. Well, the next I'm actually going to share a video for this next story, honey. Charlemagne is actually a legend that Charlemagne from the Breakfast Club, who everybody but me hates. I'm actually a huge fan, but he says that Drake actually sent the green light to have his ass attacked. So let me pull up the video. He's talking about it on the Brilliant Idiot podcast. Where and apologies in advance, y'all, because I can't stand Andrew Schultz and he's in this video. So if you just see him, stick your middle finger up like I did. But let me share my screen. You're not smart. Shut up, ho. I'm smart enough. Let me rewind so we can make sure we see all of it.
Two of the biggest security guards I ever seen in my life. They was doing for security. Easy. If I'm lying, brothers came up to me and said, "Hey man, and we had a green CU. Just do it. Just do it. All bills will be paid." I don't know what just do it meant. They was like, "Man, we were told that when we see you for years, they'll let you have it. But no, we fuck with you, blah, 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 this and that." They told me who it was from and everything.
Wow.
He not like us. He not like us.
Damn.
Okay, that's a fact. Okay, I ain't making none of that shit up. All right. The only reason I don't say his name is I don't want him to sue me.
You kind of deserved it.
I don't remember what year it was.
Green light?
Yes. He was going mad hard.
Who cares?
I'm not sitting there acting like a victim.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Like,
No.
Why does he deserve that just because he was talking shit?
yeah, I don't know. Talk shit back.
No. If you got the means,
Yeah.
I just thank God for always blessing me. That's why I know every time I got jumped or punched in the face, I was supposed to.
Listen, that's some real nigga shit. He was like, "Look, I ain't no victim. Every time, look, if it happened, I was supposed to get punched in the face." But yeah, so that kind of confirmed like that shit that they be saying about Drake is that how he's real shady and he likes to backdoor a lot of people. He be doing real shady shit behind the scenes. Y'all watch that Canadian, honey. So now I believe that he done had shows canceled in Toronto and all. Look, okay, Peter says y'all are mess. Y'all are hilarious. Well, does anybody want to add anything else about this man that only me likes? And apparently I'm not smart because I like him.
Like
Go ahead, BB.
problematic people.
Why do you like him?
I'm a fan. I think he's funny. I love what he does for Black men and mental health. And I've just been a fan of the Breakfast Club like since it started back in 2010.
But he's
Just call it
trash.
mess,
Like
BB.
okay, you know what? You just say that, Derek. You like mess. You like
He like
messy,
mess.
trashy.
Yes.
Okay. There are people who are not good individuals but do good things. So I do acknowledge that he's done some great things, but overall, he's a horrible person.
But
Like
he's
just
also a cancer.
awful.
Like, I mean, so none of this surprising. He is very much a cancer man and he acts like it.
He
So is
probably wants
50
to
a
be.
cancer man?
Absolutely. And 50
Okay.
got the same birthday as George W. Bush.
Well, more pieces to the puzzle. Thank you. I just had to ask. So I wasn't understanding exactly why you liked him, but more pieces to the
Mhm.
puzzle. I'm gonna need you to do better. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want better.
You need to do. We're gonna talk offline because I'm
You
gonna get you
cannot force
together.
him. You can't. We look. We try every day.
Sometimes,
We
chill. You
try
gotta hold
every
them.
day.
I can't say it on a recorded line, but I'll tell you later. Hmm. All right. Thank you for answering my question. Boo.
Yeah, but no, but seriously though, I'm like the stuff that they talk about, the stuff that they bring to the forefront. Breakfast Club has been doing that. I like the interviews that they bring. And they've been doing this before even like the 2016 election. They'll bring in congressmen, congresswomen, people to talk to the community and stuff. Like I just love the work that they do, and I think they are very, very pro-black.
So they're not 100% bad. They just 80% bad.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Well, does anybody want to add anything else before I show y'all another video?
Mm-mm.
Oh, honey, Sierra. Girl, I love you, but I need for you to have a seat, boo. Because why is she out here telling Jim Jones that the spirit done told her to come up to him and to tell him to marry Chrissy Lampkin?
Oh, girl, sit down.
And we about to watch the video together. Y'all gonna, I'm telling y'all, eyes gonna roll so hard that I'll be able to hear it here from where I am from the East Coast. I'm telling you, watch. Let me just share the screen real quick.
Spirit ain't told her shit.
Not a thing lying on that spirit like that. Okay, let me make sure.
I got my crap. Pull up on her. Come sit down. Oh, come on, because we need this to happen. I'm sorry, because I just really need this to happen. I don't want to get mad at me because I don't know how you're going to feel, but I really need y'all to just go ahead and I'm coming in hot. No. Should I just stay on what I'm on right now? Yeah, go
Yeah, go
I'm gonna
ahead.
stay on it because why not? Why not? Like y'all have like lived life in every capacity anyone could live in it. You live in like you already done it. So let's just seal it properly. Seal it properly because you know what? He deserves it. You deserve it. Why not? Like I look at y'all and I'm like, they're so cute and so fly. Chrissy is so beautiful and so dope, and she holds you down, like down, down, down. Like this is a spirit talking through me right now. I'm just
Oh,
saying, like
girl.
I saw you and I got excited because I love when you are connect to music and between it to me coming up. And also when I see y'all like from a love perspective, y'all like touch so many people. It's time. It's time.
But let me be your
Come
power.
on. Okay.
You was here to give me them words of encouragement and the words of advice. I really need it.
Yay, I appreciate that. That
You're
means
so
so much
nice.
to me. Oh, you think you are good? Come on, man.
Come on, awesome.
Let me call the spirit right quick. Hold on.
Did I tell y'all I was gonna be able to hear y'all eyes rolling from all the way over here in the East Coast? I heard every single one of your eyes rolling.
Oh, hold up. I got spirit on the line. Spirit, did you tell Ciara that shit?
Hell no.
I thank you. I didn't think so. I'm sorry to disturb you, spirit. You go on back to what you was doing. Thank you. Thank you,
It's
girl.
all good.
Oh
But yeah,
my.
I'm telling you, you try to be, and let me just say that as someone who was born and raised in the Baptist church, I try my very best to be respectful of everyone's religion because that's just the type of person I am and that's what I was taught. But
Right.
baby, some of these people, I like to call them Christian freaks or Jesus freaks. They are really really scary and they're really blurring the lines of terrorism. Because why would you think it was okay for you to take your ass? Now you are Sierra, so you know you that industry girl, and it's cute. She looked cute, but she went over there to stop them in the middle of an interview when they were working to tell him that bullshit. And they're gonna talk about the spirit told me. The spirit ain't tell you no bullshit like that, girl. Y'all need to stop. You people in that church, stop lying on them spirits. That ain't nothing but a demonic spirit that y'all doing. Stop lying on them spirits. You know, ain't no spirit tell you no shit like that.
Mm.
Go
He was
ahead, big
so
baby.
gracious about it. I would have. Ooh, that's
Right,
real
He
he was
really
nice.
very.
was.
I love his response, and I'm a man of faith, and I do believe that sometimes when you're in tune with people, sometimes you may have a message for them, but I don't believe the spirit will cause you to say things in a place like that. Like if you're friends with them, you could have had that conversation somewhere else.
Yep.
Like
Right.
why would the spirit at that moment say, "Hey, why don't you take this moment to tell them this on this public platform?" Like, girl, who are you? Oh, it's the spirit speaking through me right now. I would have asked her right then and, well, did the spirit tell you right now to shut the fuck up because I don't want to hear it? Like,
Exactly.
come on now. I hate when people try to force marriage on people who obviously don't want to be married. If he wanted to marry her, he would have. But then the
Ages
other
ago.
piece, right, ages ago, it's the same way when like they do women like that who are not pregnant by their husband or whatever. I remember when you remember if you watch Married to Medicine, when Dr. Simone did quad like that, like you need to get this man a baby. Whole time you didn't know what was going on in that marriage, and he was abusive to her. Like there was a lot going on, and you wanted
Mm-hmm.
to admonish her because she didn't want to give him a kid. Like, please
Driving her
stop with
across the
that.
floor and shit. Oh, girl, no
I
way.
hate stuff like that. Like, please.
I think
Just
she a
because you want
little
to be a
matchmaker.
brood man for your husband, whatever his name is, you do that.
She
You
thinks she
do
a
that and you
matchmaker.
enjoy it.
She got that little couple together. What's her name? The
Was it
singer?
Summer Walker or
No, she got the football player and
oh Normani?
Amani. Yeah, she's made them a couple now. Where she thinks she's a matchmaker extraordinaire. Now she can go around telling people what
Sure.
about their relationships. Get out of here.
I blame us for that whole Sierra prayer thing. Yeah.
Not us. I was never part of that. Mm-mm. I
Well,
always
not
thought that mess
us,
was corny.
I'm generically speaking.
Yeah.
But I blame us, Sierra's prayer. That's her prayer. Let her enjoy it. And now she thinks the spirit is telling her to set people up. Girl,
Hmm.
I got something you can set up. And you be in hell dealing with me.
Ooh.
Ooh,
And just so we're clear, that Sierra Prayers is actually Summer Walker's fault. Well, does
you're
anybody want to
right.
add? Does anybody want to add anything before we go to this next story? And this next story is going to be a doozy, y'all.
Let's go. Because this one
Ooh,
here, bah.
let me adjust my wig, honey.
Yeah, y'all, it's bad. And trigger warning: sexual assault. Jared Leto. I don't know if y'all heard the news, honey, but people, and I mean, I'm sure y'all, because I've heard these things for years about
Yep,
him.
me too.
I mean, years. But anyway, I just shared this leak from people, and this news broke over the weekend. And you see where it says here, Jared Leto accused of sexual misconduct by multiple women, including some who say that they were underage, as actor denies allegations. Look at him, he looked crazy as hell too. Look at, ugh, girl.
Let's look at this picture again. Scroll up.
Uh huh.
Let me look at his eyes. Can't see them, but that doesn't mean anything. They have a few people that you don't see it. Okay, moving along.
Right. That mouth definitely asymmetrical, honey. Look at that shit. Well, them thin
Yeah,
ass lips.
yeah, but he clenching his mouth too, so yeah, he holding something in.
Hmm. Well, Jared Leto has been accused of sexual misconduct by multiple women. On Saturday, June 7th, Airmail published a story following interviews with 9 women who claimed that the 53-year-old actor and musician behaved inappropriately towards them, some while they were underage. The women allege a long-standing pattern of such behavior. It's been an open secret for a long time, an anonymous woman told the outlet, and she's not wrong. It really has been an open. Like I said, I've heard about it for years. Among the allegations, Leto is accused of asking sexual questions to a 16-year-old girl, walking out of a room nude in front of a 17-year-old girl, and exposing himself and masturbating before putting an 18-year-old's hand on him. In a statement to Airmail, a representative for the 30 Seconds to Mars band member expressly denied all allegations. A representative for Leto did not immediately respond to people's requests for comment. Among the allegations featured in the report, Laura LaRue, a model who was 16 in 2008, recalled meeting Leto at an animal rights benefit that year and connecting with him over email before he invited her to his studio. She visited his studio in April of 2009 and recalled him allegedly flirting uh, with her while there. A representative for Leto told Airmail that their communications contained nothing sexual or inappropriate, and that LaRue later applied to work as Mr. Leto's personal assistant, further underscoring the absence of anything inappropriate in any of their interactions. LaRue, however, denied that she applied for the position. She also alleged, per Airmail, that Leto walked out of a room nude like it was normal on one occasion when she was 17. I thought maybe this is just what adult men do, she told the outlet. Well, yeah, girl, you're not wrong. It's what adult predators do. Anyway, one woman claimed that she was 16 years old in 2008 when Leto approached her at Earth Cafe in Los Angeles and got her number. She said that days later, Leto called her home in the middle of the night with the weirdest, grossest voice, adding that she didn't know if he was on drugs. A representative for the actor told Airmail that Leto had not had a drink or used drugs in over 35 years. The woman alleged that after she turned down an invitation to attend a party, Leto would continue to call her in the early mornings over the span of 3 weeks, per Airmail. And the conversations turned sexual, she claimed. He'd ask things like, "Have you ever had a boyfriend? Have you ever sucked a dick?" He added, "He changed his voice, the way he talked. It scared me. That was the first time I thought, oh my God, that's not just in movies." The woman's mother said she overheard a phone call and could confirm her story per airmail. Oh, chill, there go another picture, girl, with a
Oh,
better look.
nice. Yeah, I see it a little more now.
Hmm. So, another woman who claimed she was underage when she began texting Leto alleged that the actor would ask her uncomfortable questions during visits to his home, and that during one visit when she was 18, he suddenly pulled his penis out and started masturbating. Then he walked over, grabbed my hand, and put it on him, the woman alleged per airmail. He leaned in and said, "I want you to spit on it." Elsewhere in the report from Airmail, one woman alleged that she was definitely not the youngest person there, while attending one of Leto's parties at his home in the 2000s when she was 18. Per the outlet, she also alleged that the focus of the party appeared to be getting girls to skinny dip. A representative for Leto told Airmail there was never any recruiting, complaints, or impropriety. Nightlife promoter Brent Bolthouse, who organized multiple parties at Leto's home, told the outlet he never saw anyone skinny dipping. Airmail reported that the story surrounding Leto's alleged inappropriate behavior surfaced last month when DJ Ali Tills reposted a Facebook status from 2012 on her Instagram stories, writing that she was assaulted and traumatized by this creep when she was 17. A representative for Leto told the outlet that her allegations are demonstrably false. And then, of course, it ends. If you know someone who has been sexually assaulted, please contact the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE or go to rain.org. And rain is spelled with two N's. So, yeah. So it looks like Jared been Leto, honey. They said, "Leave us Gen X alone. We didn't know there will be internet in the future." A mess. And then, so a lot of it, just the one thing about Jared Leto that I know, doesn't he also run a cult? I mean, it's like I think that's what the fans of his band calls himself. But there's like, I know there's a documentary about it and everything. I didn't watch because I really don't care about Jared Leto that way. But I think he's part of a cult or head of a cult or some shit like that. I don't know. But with shit behavior like this and young girls, honey, it's look like what BB say. It's piecing together. I'm connecting it. Well, that's that on that, y'all. Does anybody want to add anything else about his nasty ass before we go to the next story? Okay, well, I got 3 stories left. This next story, some news that y'all don't give a hot damn about. Another story from People, child. Brittany Renner and Kevin Gates are now divorced after 52 days of marriage.
So that's what, 3, 4 Scaramucci's?
Pretty much. How y'all let Kim Kardashian's marriage beat y'all? Because she was married for what, 72 days to what's his name, Chris Humphries.
Mm.
Child.
52
Both of them
days.
just,
Wait,
look at
hold
them
up. Did
just.
she say she gave 100%? Hold on.
That's what she said, girl. She said I gave 100%. Child. So Brittany Renner revealed that her marriage to Kevin Gates is over. In an interview with Los Angeles radio station Real 92.3 LA, published on Saturday, June 7th, the influencer and basketball wives star said that she and the rapper, who's 39, divorced after 52 days of marriage. "We got married April 6th and divorced May 28th," Renner 33 said. So clearly her math is off because April 6th to May 28th is not 52 days, but okay. Renner, who recently converted to Islam, reassured her fans that all is well despite her marriage ending. "I don't feel like it's a sucky situation because what is meant to be is always going to be," she said. People reached out to Renner and Gates for comment on Sunday, June 8th, but did not immediately hear back. Renner also asserted that she has no regrets about the situation. "I followed my heart, and that's what more than most people can say. And I think when you do that, You get all the clarity you need, and there's no stone left unturned, and there's no regret, she said. A lot of people, their issue is, even just in dating, in marriage, is people just don't give it their all, she added. They just don't go for it. But I feel like when you do, you're at peace with whatever happens because I gave 100%. It was just in May that Renner was gushing over her union with Gates. All I can say is that I'm with the person that I quite literally dreamed of. We went over this in the show once. She told people at the time. And to just be able to wake up next to him and spend time with him, even to have him here behind me, it's so surreal. He's just like the most beautiful person inside and out that I've ever met. And I think we even remember showing that video because we laughed about his ass standing behind her looking like a security guard.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Renner was previously involved with Dallas Mavericks for PJ Washington, with whom she shares a 4-year-old child.
This is nuts.
It really is. And to be completely honest with you, Chia, I think the only reason that they are divorced is because Kevin Gates don't want to get arrested for bigamy. Because from what I understand, he is still legally married to Draco.
That would be a good reason.
Mm-hmm. So
You
y'all go
can't
around and play
gush
with them laws if you want to.
in the early part of May and be divorced by May 28th. I mean, it just doesn't even make sense. So all of this, I have no regrets. I gave it 100%. That's some bullshit, Auntie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she's not telling the real story here because it makes no sense whatsoever. The person she dreamed of, and then she divorced, 2 weeks later? Come on now.
And then look, we have a comment. That's what he gets talking about Savannah James. Ooh. With another comment, she makes no sense. And you are absolutely right, honey.
I mean, do you think we're stupid?
Mm-hmm.
I
I
don't
think she do
consider
think we're
myself
stupid.
stupid at all because this story doesn't make any kind of sense whatsoever. But not that I care about what her and Kevin doing. But okay, girl. Okay.
Well, speaking of stupid, here's the rapper that y'all don't know who anything about. When I tell you I'm quite sure that y'all don't know who this rapper is, but y'all are about to know him, honey, because he's stupid as hell. Quez 2 Double R.
Oh boy.
You already could tell with that name. I wish Will was here at the moment, honey, because I know I could just hear him saying, going, who?
Who?
Well, I just shared this link from from All Hip Hop. Rapper Quez 2 Double R gets 5 years for bringing a machine gun to maternity ward.
Oh, didn't we talk about this?
Uh-huh. But he
Okay.
wasn't sentenced when we talked about him.
Yeah, I remember. I was gonna say this name sounds familiar, but yeah, not it. I'm okay.
Dumbass. Anyway, Quez 2 Double R brought a stolen fully automatic Glock into a Georgia hospital's delivery room, and now the 21-year-old hip-hop artist is heading to federal prison for more than 5 years. Quez 2 Double R, whose real name is Jaquavius Searcy, was sentenced in June of 2025 to 66 months behind bars after pleading guilty to possession of a machine gun, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. The weapon, a Glock 17 converted with an auto sear, was discovered under a couch cushion inside a labor and delivery room at Piedmont Walton Hospital in Monroe on Thursday, August 17th of 2023. A nurse tipped off hospital security after spotting Quez 2 Double R with a firearm. Officers recovered the loaded 9mm pistol, which had a 30-round extended magazine and a device that made it fully automatic. The gun was also reported stolen. This case exemplifies how law enforcement and prosecutors work together to effectively remove illegal firearms and other dangerous destructive devices from the streets in order to make our communities safer, said acting U.S. Attorney C. Chanel Booker. Federal investigators later searched Quez 2 Double R's home in February 2025, where they found multiple illegal firearms and conversion devices. And I think that's what we talked about, Chill, when they searched his home. Some of the weapons were linked to shootings in DeKalb County through ballistic testings, according to prosecutors. Authorities also traced Quez 2 Double R's online activity, including Instagram messages and music videos, where he was seen with illegal weapons and accessories on a song called Traffic, where he rapped, I pop out a switch on the back of my Glock, and I put a switch on the back of my Glock just to clean up the street when it's time for their action. Mm-mm. In one exchange, he received confidential law enforcement information from a Clayton County police officer about active warrants in a homicide investigation. Quest 2 R entered a guilty plea before receiving his sentence in June of 2025.
So he said
Stupid.
hello and goodbye to his baby all on the same day, huh?
Pretty much.
Oh Lord, have mercy. Yeah, you can't get. I mean, stupid is a good word for what's happening here. This is this is beyond stupid.
Really, it is. Like, damn, I mean, you couldn't even leave that shit in the car. Well, maybe was he taking an Uber? Because I just want to know, like, what made you? I just like explain this to me like I'm five. What made him think it was a good idea to take those in the hospital and put the shit under the couch cushion? And then don't Oh, I think that's just the ER, right? No, most hospitals do have metal detectors, don't they?
No,
Oh, okay.
they don't. They have signs, of course, that firearms are legal. But you bring the firearm in, and not only do you bring it in, then you brandish it and let somebody see you with it. You don't leave it in the cushions in the couch, which is where you should have left it, because you don't know when the people are going to pop in the room. You know, they knock, but when they're knocking, they're opening the door. You know, they're not waiting for you to say, come in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, this is
Yeah.
so dumb. And you had a baby. I'm sure that's not the only dumb thing he's done, because this reeks of he's just dumb, period. And you in here having a baby for this dummy. Whew. I, oh my God. It's too much.
Too much, honey. Well, does anybody else want to add anything else on Quest 2 R stupid ass before we go to the last story?
I'll never want
Chill.
to hear his name again.
We have dummies and we said chill. It's mind boggling. Yes, indeed. Well, the last story I have to share is a good one, and I think it's a good way to end off on, especially during Pride Month. Y'all have
Okay.
probably seen this story already, but Eddie Murphy and Mel B's son comes out as trans.
I did see that.
Yeah, so congratulations to him. Welcome to the world. Shout out to your debut. So I'm gonna share. I shared this link from all new hip. Excuse me, hot new hip hop. I don't know why I get the two of them confused. Probably because of hip hop at the end of the name. But Eddie Murphy and Mel B. Brown's son, Angel, has come out as trans, according to the Daily Mail. He recently updated the pronouns on his Instagram page and has the full support of his parents. I, when I tell you I love to see that, it's a decision Angel made, and Mel has been understanding, likewise Eddie, a source told the outlet. There was no big event to mark it. Angel just wanted it to be known what pronouns are now suitable. The news comes after Angel celebrated his 18th birthday earlier that year. Mel B marked the occasion with a heartfelt tribute on Instagram. Happy birthday to my angel. I cannot believe you're 18, she captioned several pictures of her son. You are so special, so bright, and so talented. I couldn't be prouder of watching you grow and become the person you are, but you'll forever be my baby, and I hope you keep chasing your dreams and be kind to everyone around you like you always have been, my angel. Love you always. Eddie Murphy is currently married to Australian model Paige Busher, who he began dating back in 2012. They share two children of their own. So let me just see. This is them when they were a baby. That was the post she was talking about. Now, this isn't the first time Eddie Murphy popped up in headlines in recent weeks. As Diddy trials continues in New York City, the actor's name was mentioned in the courtroom last month. The mention stemmed from an alleged text between Cassie and Diddy on July 2nd of 2013. As caught by Page Six, the message read, "As much as you think you're Bruce Willis, you aren't. He's married, and before he was married, the family as a whole went on trips together, or just him and his woman. Eddie Murphy and Paige Butcher took his kids away on their own. I've been on the edge of tears all week. I don't think you sympathize with my feelings. They have never known you and Kim Porter together. Mm-mm. I was trying to find it. Oh, here it is. I think it's in the same page where you can see. Yep, this is what Angel looks like now.
Okay, cutie.
Hmm. And I think, for the most part, most of us who know trans people, especially like before their transition, I think like I know for me, I saw signs that were there. Like I know there's a couple of people that I could think of that I know personally, my personal friends before their transitions. Like you could kind of tell that they were going to live life as a woman. There were just certain things that they did and said, and it was just like, yeah, this is it's deeper than being gay, you know. So, and I'm like, and I think judging by those pictures, I think they kind of Eddie and Mel kind of saw it there. So that's probably why. Oh, okay, so we were just waiting for you to say it, and we're happy that you said it. So welcome to the world, he, him, Angel. So shout out to Angel, shout out to his parents.
Yes.
Well, y'all, that was all the tea that I had for us today. So before I head out and watch my stories, did any of you have any tea you want to share? Any tea I might have missed? Oh, go ahead, BB.
So, did we all catch the president of the Latinos for Trump and her new comment she had for the president?
Mm-hmm.
I saw.
Yeah.
I
I
saw.
just wanted to say that and then give a little laugh. That's it. Not to be insensitive to anyone here, if we're
Mm.
still recording. But I just find it very interesting that and I hate to go by these buzz terms, but the FAFO, when we get to it, and all of a sudden it's all regret. Mm. But yeah, I found that tea very moist.
We don't care.
Ah,
Hello. Exactly. And shoot,
period.
I will certainly be insensitive, especially to the 55% of men who voted for his stupid ass. But hey, I listen. It's really hard. Like I hate that it's happening, but it's just really hard for me to find sympathy for it. I'm sorry. I don't. I don't. Because for some reason, something told y'all that this man who has clearly said during his campaign that I really don't rock with you like that, but hey, come on over. We'll make it work. But y'all thought this man was, well, Chad, don't even get me started. This is why I don't talk politics on this show.
Well, they never believed that he would target them. They thought he was talking about the MS-13 and the criminals and all of this, but he was really saying all illegal aliens. Now, why they didn't get that part, I don't know. And at this point, saying you regret or don't support him anymore, blah blah blah, it's too late now. Like,
It's
what you
way
gonna
too late.
do
It,
about it?
it does absolutely nothing.
Nothing. But what I will say is all this money they supposedly saving, they're spending, rounding up a few hundred people at a time. You know how many illegal aliens are in this country? I mean, it's millions. They will be
And what-
doing this until, oh Lord, years. What they're trying to do,
Years.
I think, is scare them into going back by treating a few this way. They can, traumatize the rest of them into leaving voluntarily. But yeah, at the rate they're going to spend so much money uh, trying to round these people up and get them out the country, and it's going to take a very, very long time at this rate. So
For them to end up right back.
yeah, they're grabbing anyone who appears to be Hispanic.
And
Will
that's
say,
what's sad to me. Like,
carry your papers.
right. And that's
They're
not
not
gonna
even
happen.
giving you a chance to show your papers. They're just
They're not
snatching
that
you up.
they're snatching you up. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I did laugh at them close slamming that door in Maxine Waters' face. I hollered.
I'm sorry.
My poor auntie looked so defeated. They slammed that door in her face. I said, poor thing. But no, I just find it strange that you're only targeting Hispanics. Well, I'm pretty sure. What about Italian
Well,
immigrants?
they're
What about
targeting others too, but
Like
right now
especially
it's
the Haitians.
Hispanics. They want
Well,
all
yeah, we know that they're targeting the people, the brown
the brown
immigrants,
people.
but they're not the
Yeah.
only ones here that are immigrants, right?
Right.
So I just find it very, very strange. That's not, you know what? I had to say it out loud. It's not strange, it's expected. But, you know, I hate that people have to find out this way. If we would just listen, right? And we can't blame the illegal immigrants because they can't vote. So they didn't vote for it. But your brothers and sisters did.
Yeah, the ones who are legal did. They
Right. They voted for it, knowing, thinking that, oh, they wouldn't come after mine. And they're coming after yours. And it is heartbreaking and heart-wrenching to see these videos of like
it
people
is.
being detained, and you can just see the heartbreak. But I mean, at this point, I don't have any fight left in me but for my people.
I think
That
this
part.
doesn't bode well for the Olympics and the FIFA that's coming up. There are a lot of people that are going to come here from other countries, but I think it's going to affect attendance because they're just snatching up anybody. Will they stop? Will they have some kind of moratorium, to let these games go on without, acting a fool in these streets and picking up people who just look brown or whatever?
Right.
um, I think probably it's going to stop a lot of people from coming here. One of the people they snatched up was a tourist. She wasn't even, here to stay. Like
It's
they don't let
sad.
you show your papers. They just snatch you up. Some of these people are legal, you know, and it's really very sad to watch how they're doing it because they don't know who the hell they're snatching up.
At all. They don't care.
They
Just
snatched some
snatch
guy
and
who was from
grab.
Algeria. He's not even Hispanic. He was a legal citizen, but he got snatched up. He didn't get deported, but just imagine being locked up for a couple of
Yeah.
days before they figure out that you
And
don't
those
belong here.
conditions. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
yes.
Mm.
So I think it's going to be interesting to see how these big events unfold because they
Yep.
bring in a lot of money and a lot of people from other countries. So especially FIFA.
And I love the comments that say, and many Latinos, Italians, Indians, Middle Easterns look alike. In casting, the actors can play different race. Yep. And then
That's
next, they'll go after the white collar immigrants, the 90% tech, and the big tech companies.
right. Have a good day. Yeah,
Okay, a working bitch, honey. Yes.
they're gonna put out
And
these Afghanistans they brought here. They're gonna put them all out there just because of the actions of a few. Because really, to be honest, they let these people come over here. These people don't care about us. You already know how they feel in their country, and I think a lot of them in this country feel that way too. So, um, yeah.
And
Hmm.
I just want to point out, Chill, you see how in the chat you says searching for, because you remember what I told you about Capricorn men and how you got to watch them because they don't want you to be happy.
Hmm.
So you see what Chris says, searching for news to delay Auntie from watching Beyond the Gates. Now, why would you want to delay me from watching something that clearly makes me happy? I'll tell you why. Because he's a Capricorn man.
See, I never say that, Auntie. Never, because I'm a Pisces.
That's right. Well, Pisces woman, because if you were a Pisces
Hmm.
man, then yeah, you'll probably be just like the Capricorn man. Wait, anybody have any other tea? Did you happen to find anything, Beezus, that you can keep me from my show that I'm still going to watch later? Well, y'all, it is always a pleasure. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come and sip tea with me. We will be back tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time if you can make the live show. Until then, you all have a fabulous rest of your day and hell, have a fabulous week. We need it.
See y'all tomorrow, everybody.
Bye, y'all.